Hey everybody, so in this video I wanted to walk through a bit more of the advanced events that you can use in Minecraft using JavaScript. Now we talked about this in the events week 5, but we only touched on it, and for this I kind of want to walk you through what I would do if I wanted to use one of the events and how you can use them in one of your mods. So what I mean by advanced events, of course, is if we go into events and we click on if we go into Minecraft, click on events, and we get out this block, you'll see that there are only about 10 events listed here. Now, these are not all the events in the game. There are tens more events, but we can't access them from this block alone. We have to use a JavaScript block. So in order to figure out what events we can use, if we open a new tab and we go to hubhub.spigot, spigotmc.org, this will take us to this fun page where we then want to scroll down to where it says Java Docs and click on Spigot. So once we're taken here, all we need to do once we're here is click on one of these. These are the different subcategories of events. So we've got block-based events, enchantment-based events, entities, all these stuff. So let's say I wanted to look at new player events. So we could use player bed leave or player bed enter. We could use player edit book. Let's see what else we got in entities. We got entity breed event. That's a little racy. We got entity explode event. So that could be like we make something when something explodes. Entity teleport, entity unleash, all that fun stuff. Let's see what else we got. What are the blocks we got? So block burn. So this will happen like when a block burns. So this is what you can do. You can kind of look through each of these, and this will be the description of what they'll do. And if we click on them, it'll take us to an even more advanced page where it will tell us all the functions that this event has. So that's like, and remember for player chat, these functions are the things that info can do. This tells us about the information that is stored within the event, and these are the functions that can be called when you use infos. So like, let's say we did this player event, which is the bucket empty event. Yeah, let's just use this right now. So it's player bucket of empty event. So this is when your bucket is emptied, called when a player empties a bucket. Okay. So what we would do, of course, is we would create our main. We would get that event block. What do we want? We just want to send a message. I'm gonna call this empty bucket. Call it whatever we want. We're gonna call empty bucket, and then remember we always need to get out just a standard block break event. Go into JavaScript, copy this right here, because this is the JavaScript of this block entirely. Grab a JavaScript block from the MISC tab, and then copy that code that we just copied. Paste that code that we just copied into the JavaScript block, and change the apostrophes right here into quotation marks. Okay, so once we've got this, we can now use the player.playerBucketEmpty event. So you just want to copy this part right here. Don't worry about any of this, the org bucket event parts, just the part where it says the type of event it is, then the event name itself. And so we want to paste that over the old event. Okay, so now we've got when player bucket empty, let's send a message. Okay, so we want to add an info to empty bucket. Okay. So now what we can do with that info is you want to come over here and you want to look for anything that says methods. So a method is just another name for a function. And secretly, whenever we use items default, or let's just do infos message, if this was a player chat event, if we go into JavaScript, we see that it's info.getMessage. That's what it translates to in JavaScript. So with that in mind, you can come back here and look for anything that says get, right? So get block clicked, get bucket, get item stack, etc., get player. So what that means is that whenever you see a method or a function that says get, we can just use infos to attach that get onto whatever we type here. So if we say infos player to me, take a look. Info.getPlayer, and if we come over here, we see that getPlayer is a part of this event. That method, that function is a part of this event. So another interesting thing you can do is there are these blocks called set. So if you see anything that says get, that means use an items default block. But if you see anything that says set, we can use a different block. So let's say we want to actually just delete this. Text, say the no empty bucket for you. So let's say we want players to be able to pick up something with their bucket, but we don't want them to empty the bucket for whatever reason. Let's say it's like a capture the flag type game. They need to capture the lava from one area, and we want to check if they have a bucket of lava in their hands. I don't know, something. So what we can do is we can cancel the event, player bucket empty event, so that whenever somebody tries to empty it, the event is canceled, which means that they can't do it. So it's imagine like you're using this action, you're saying, I want to empty my bucket, and then someone is just saying, nope, you can't do that. That's what a canceling event is. So if we go into MISC, we've got right below the items default block, we've got a set items default to block. So what we want to do here is we see that there is this set canceled function. So we can set infos canceled to something. So now that we've got this, let's look at the JavaScript and see it says info set canceled. That looks just like this function over here. So what you're doing is you're kind of trying to make the Blockly blocks over here, when you look at them in JavaScript, look just like the functions and the methods that are listed over here. Okay, so we want to set cancel to true. So true is in logic, and true just means yes, basically. This is saying, is this event canceled? Yes, it is. It's true. So now every time we try to empty a bucket, it's going to say no empty bucket for you, and we won't be able to empty that bucket. So let's take a look. Let's first give ourselves a bucket. Let's just give ourselves a bucket of water. Perfect. We go into week 10 JavaScript, and let's run it. All right, now let's try to empty this bucket. Look, whenever we try to empty it, it says no empty bucket for you. Oh, that's weird. Well, most of the time it does. That's probably just the server getting confused. We clicked it too many times, too fast. Okay, so why is that happening? Because we set its canceled to true, which means we canceled the event. Okay, with this in mind, you can use the get to get things and the set to set things for all these different events. And each of the events has something different. So like this is whenever you can consume something, what we can get from here. Look at all these gets. We can get the item that was consumed. We can set which item is going to be consumed. All the stuff like that. So with this in mind, I want you guys to maybe try some of this out. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask me on the forum. Cool.